Welcome back everyone. In today's video, we're going to take a quick look at Senua Saga Hellblade 2 on my RTX 4090 Ryzen 7800X 3D. Let's focus on 4K maximum settings with DLAA first, and then I'll show you some of the settings. We'll also take a look at DLSS and some frame generation as well.
Slave. Come here.
He's still alive.
The enslaver. Don't kill him.
What are you going to do with that sword, girl?
He looks ready for you. He is ready to fight.
You're ready. We will end this.
You're fucking dead.
I can pay. You can do this.
Now, if you're familiar with Unreal Engine 5 games at all, this level of performance is actually quite good because we are running the game at 4K with the maxed out graphical settings, and we're also using DLAA as a form of anti-aliasing, which makes the game technically a little bit more taxing on your hardware than, say, just regular TSR or TAA. This game does not have TAA. It has TSR. It has XeSS, FSR3. We're going to go through the settings right after this 4K native showcase. But as far as the visual fidelity in this game, it's off the charts. I would definitely say it's one of the best looking games that I've played, and a very good showcase for Unreal Engine 5. The sound production is off the chains. It's really, really good, and the whole experience is actually very interactive. Like right now, you have to technically parry. You have your medium attack and your heavy attack, and you also have a little dodge, like a sidestep. There are attacks that cannot be parried, like the ones that glow red, for example. There is a perfect parry, like that one, that glowed blue. That was a perfect parry. You do a perfect parry, like just now, even the voices in Senua's head will actually react to it. It'll, you know, it's like they'll congratulate you for doing a good parry, and that opens up a little window for you to counterattack. So it is a very, very interactive experience. I mean, there was parts of the game where I thought it was just like technically like a cutscene, but you had to press buttons to, or like if an enemy grabs you, for example, if you spam attack, you can free yourself and hit them instead of them hitting you, and that's how you begin the battle. So I do find stuff like that pretty cool because, you know, it gives you more involvement into the story for a heavy cinematic experience like this, because personally, myself, I'm not huge into heavy cinematic games. I don't like it when games take away control from you. But if the story's good enough and everything else elevates the experience, I can definitely get immersed into it, which I think this game does very well.
If you're going to kill me, just do it.
Takes over everyone. But you need him.
You need him to show you.
He knows everything.
He knows this island.
No.
He knows. He can show you the path.
You're gonna take me where I need to go. Yes.
Yes. He will take you. He will show you.
He has to.
He will help.
Now, before we advance the story, I just wanted to quickly go through the settings and show you guys what we have that we can work with. And there's actually some cool features here. This video is obviously focused on 4K, but as far as upscalers, everything's in here. We have TSR, XeSS, we have DLSS with DLAA, FSR3, we have frame generation as well for Nvidia. As far as FSR3, I couldn't turn it on, but you might need an AMD GPU for that option to become available, like it is in Fort Solis and a couple other Unreal Engine 5 games. But other than that, you have access to the DLSS upscaler sharpening as well as FSR. We have variable rate shading, which is on by default. I've disabled it here. What variable shading does is it's dynamic resolution for selective areas of the screen. I think developers choose which ones. But other than that, we have a high, medium, and low graphical preset. And there's actually quite a bit of performance to be gained by tuning some of these settings And I will just do a quick comparison before we move on, just to show you. A neat feature that I think is worth pointing out is the preview feature. So for example, let's take view distance, for example. If we press spacebar, it will toggle on preview mode. So that way you can see what the changes do in the image, basically. And it'll even show you your video memory, your FPS, and everything else. So clearly, if we toggle down from high to low on view distance, you can see how the objects reduce in the distance. And the same thing goes for the upscalers, which is pretty cool. And we can see here DLSS does a really good job. FSR does a good job too, although there is a bit of flicker. XeSS doesn't do a very good job. There's a lot of flicker with XeSS. But TSR does a really good job as well. But so yeah, this feature is very cool. I wanted to point that out. Another thing I wanted to quickly point out before we take a look at DLSS is I wanted to compare the high, medium, and low graphical preset. And there's quite a bit of performance to be gained just by dropping presets. For example, going from high to medium, you can gain as much as 30% more performance, or from high to low, 60% performance. That's a lot for an Unreal Engine 5 game especially, because I know that there's people out there that don't like to use upscaling. So you can actually tweak the settings and gain more performance that way, or mix the two, whichever way you want. But anyway, I might take a look at each setting in another video, maybe. But anyway, let's take a look at DLSS.
I wish you had drowned like the others.
Okay, let's go ahead and throw some DLSS on now. We were able to stay around 60 FPS at 4K native with DLAA. We should see a pretty decent jump here with DLSS set to quality. We're still at the very high graphical preset. And yeah, we went from 60 to 90 FPS at a quick glance anyway. That's a pretty good performance jump. Just for turning DLSS on. And that's something that we've seen with other Unreal Engine 5 games. You do gain quite a bit more performance for using upscaling. What we haven't seen is graphical settings usually don't tend to make a huge difference, but in this game, some of them do.
Something's wrong.
What happened here? It smells of death. He doesn't want
The
to.
settlement has fallen to the Draeger.
Oiga.
There is nothing but death beyond those gates.
I don't want to see what's in there.
Did you hear it?
Did you hear it?
Don't listen. Someone is suffering. Help me. You need to go inside. You need to help them. Someone needs your help.
Everyone is dead in there. Everyone.
Help us.
Do you want to join them?
You came here to help.
Let's go.
Listen to yourself.
What is beyond there is too dark.
We are leaving. Now.
Don't give me orders, slaver. We'll find another way in.
The level of detail in this game, man, is incredible. And the portrayal of Iceland, at least so far, this is the very beginning of the game. This is, as a matter of fact, it's the very beginning of Chapter 2. So not really any spoilers you really have to worry about, although the game is quite short from what I've heard. So I guess not much I can do about that, but yeah, man, these vistas look absolutely incredible. But anyway, I think we get a pretty decent idea about the gains with DLSS. I'm assuming they're probably similar with FSR and probably XeSS. I think what we should probably try now is throw on some frame generation on top of DLSS as well. And then we'll try frame generation at 4K native with DLAA for those people that are not fans of upscaling. So anyway, let's check out frame generation.
You see.
The mounds of earth.
All right, so wow, that actually saw us go all the way to 144 FPS. That's crazy. We were at around 90 FPS with DLSS set to quality. We're just toggling frame generation on top of DLSS quality. That's a pretty big jump, actually. Can't say that I've seen as big a jump previously. I mean, it tends to depend on the game from what I've seen. Like a Dragon, Yakuza Like a Dragon, or Infinite Wealth, or The Man Who Erased His Name, I mean, in those games, usually frame generation doesn't give you a ton of FPS back, but in this game, seems pretty good, actually. Unreal Engine 5 games, actually, frame generation does a pretty good job as well, but what about if we disable DLSS and leave frame generation on? Let's take a look at that. I'm actually curious, because we were able to stay at around 60 FPS at 4K native with DLAA. So now we can toggle frame generation on top of that and gain another 30 FPS. So actually this is very similar performance we were getting with just DLSS set to quality. But now we turn DLSS off and turn frame generation on technically, and we arrived at the same numbers. So here you are getting that 4K native clear native image without the DLSS, but you're also getting an increase in visual fluidity. So, I mean, it's great. I love the fact that we have so many options that we can play with, you know, to enhance our gaming experience, whatever the type of hardware you have. To me, that's a good thing. So, yeah, a lot of options, guys. I just wanted this to be a brief look at the game and show you how it runs. Yes, the hardware I'm using is quite high-end, but I mean, the settings and the cost of performance is still the same no matter the GPU you use. So you can utilize these same type of settings to enhance your experience based on the type of hardware you got. So anyway, if you did like the video, give it a like, and if you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing. Leave a comment below, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
There's something here. I need to find out what it is.
They're dead.
You're mad.
She's not mad.
Doesn't see the signs.
Don't make sense.
Stupid!
He doesn't.
You're mad.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't see the signs.
There's no way. I am going in there.
Look at it.
Look.